really about the tensions between his country and Russia over Ukraine, making the case for why the United States has imposed sanctions against the Russian government, basically arguing that an annexing of a sovereign territory ran against international principles, and invited dialogue to be renewed with the Russian Federation over Crimea. He also spoke about the strength of the international system when it worked, and used that Iran nuclear deal as a case in point. He also said that countries who continue to use the excuse that they do things differently often undermine democratic process. Of course, he touched on the issue of Syria. He argued that ISIS had to be dealt with, but he also reminded member states at the UN General Assembly as to how the Syrian conflict began, accusing President Bashar al-Assad of suppressing peaceful protests using barrel bombs against his own people, and that it would be necessary to find a new leader to lead a transition in Syria.
Sherwin, China's president struck a very different tone in his maiden speech to the Assembly, which included an announcement to the AU's much-touted rapid standby force. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, he announced a $100 million donation to the AU for the much-spoken about but non-operational AU standby force, and the AU's capacity capabilities to deal with conflicts on the continent. But this was a philosophical, ideological speech rather than the specificity we heard in the President of the United States speech. He spoke about where Obama used examples. Xi Jinping spoke rather about ideology, the need for the central role of the UN Security Council to find peaceful solutions. That we should not sacrifice the nature of the environment for development. And he also spoke about the need for dialogue rather than conflict. This, of course, was his maiden speech to the UN General Assembly, and really speaking about ideals that in the international system look fantastic on paper, but one imagines a little different when in practice.
Thank you very much. That was our reporter Sherwin Bryce-Pease coming to us live from the UN in New York. We do apologize for the poor sound quality on that call.